Hey everyone, Matt Canning here with bodybuildingpro.com here at the 2012 Arnold Classic Expo in Columbus, Ohio. Here with somebody who I don't think needs any introduction, Toney Freeman. Tony, tell me something. You're 45 years old, and August 30th you're going to be 46 years old. I don't see any signs so far of regression in your physique. I don't see any injuries. It looks to me like if you make it to that Olympia at this stage in this year, 2012, that you might be able to, if you get your conditioning on like you have in the past, make top 5 again. So how come you're not slowing down? I mean, do you have some secret? I mean, a lot of guys, you see they turn into a wreck of injuries. And hey, we're all human beings, but it doesn't look like, it looks like you're an alien so far. How are you doing this?
Well, first of all, I tell people all the time, I bodybuild for life. I don't bodybuild to compete. And when you have that perspective, you take a different approach. You know, I'm careful with, how I train, make sure I don't injure myself, how I eat, how I do everything so I can last longer. Sean Ray did 13 Mr. Olympias, and it's because he took care of himself. He never really followed the crowd or chased the trophy, and you just bodybuild for yourself, bodybuild for life.
Well, Tony, I'm obviously extremely impressed by that because, like I said, you're not slowing down. And like I say, if you get your diet and you have many times in the past been consistent. Funny thing about Tony, he qualified for his first Olympia in 2006. He was 40 years old. He said it's his first, won't be his last. And that's been exactly what's happening so far. It looks to me like who knows? I mean, it looks like he might be able to compete for 10 more years by the looks of things right now. But Tony, you said that you were an ectomorph when I talked with you yesterday. I consider myself an ectomorph. When I think ectomorph, when most people think about it, they think skinny guy, tall, skinny. In your case, not always tall, but tall, lanky, which maybe you were before. But how would you explain to somebody who looks at you as this monster that you became, that you're an ectomorph when they don't look at you that way?
Well, bodybuilding is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And, when I first started lifting, I was just trying to get to 200 pounds. And at the time, I was 160. So that seemed like an impossibility. But it was a realistic goal. It took me a few years to get there, but and I knew already that I wasn't going to be the biggest person because I started off as probably the smallest person. So I just kept everything in perspective. And, for a little while, I got a little off track trying to follow the crowd. When Dorian Yates was Mr. Olympia, everybody was trying to be super huge, 300 pounds. So for a minute, I got into that, and I ended up tearing my pec. So then I had to regroup and realize that, I can't train like Ronnie. I can't train like Dorian. I have to train like me. And there's really no other tall guy to emulate. So I had to create my own training methodology and my diet approach. So,
well, it obviously has worked out for you. One thing that they say about taller guys is it takes a long time to build up the size to get there. When they're there, it happened with Gunter Schlierkamp too, stayed there for a long time. Until so far right now it looks like he's retired, but still looking big. But same with you. I mean, when you finally got to your pro card, then on the Olympia stage, you consistently were there every single year. And it doesn't look to me, like I said, that you're slowing much down. And I'm very impressed. I'm not the only one. But Tony, tell me something. In Sweden a while back, you had a little bit of an incident there. Let's just say things are different than it is in the United States. Right. So people were wondering what became of that and what you make of the entire situation with the legal issues that were taking place in Sweden. Yeah, the situation.
First of all, I wasn't arrested. They basically in Sweden, if you wear dreads, if you have too many piercings or tattoos, or if you're really huge, they can just stop you anywhere you are and ask you to pee in a cup or question you or detain you or whatever. And the arresting officer I asked him, I was like, what is this all about? And he was like, he believes that it was immoral for the supplement companies to use us in their advertisements because it makes the kids want to be like us. And it also, it was a personal vendetta that he had against bodybuilders. Basically, I found this out later. And basically, they questioned me. I was doing an appearance. I was with them for 45 minutes, and then I came back and finished my appearance. And by the time I got home, that's when I found out that I got arrested. But I never got arrested because you have to realize I'm a 300-pound black man in Sweden. So if I was arrested, I would have handcuffs, I would have mug shots, I would have fingerprints, I would have had all that. I didn't do none of that.
And it would have taken a lot of guys to take you down, I think. Probably probably all the guys there.
I'm a gentleman, and I acted as such. And by the time I left there was apologizing. The Swedish government actually sent me an apology letter. And, it was no hard feelings. It happens. And I'm glad it was me instead of the other guys that they were targeting. They were targeting Jay and Dennis Wolf and Dennis James. And I think I was the person that, I was kind of like the scapegoat. But like I said, I'm glad it was me because I kind of knew how to handle it.
Well, I heard how you described yourself before as a lover, not a fighter. And, it's nice when you have somebody who can defeat a lot of stereotypes. And obviously Sweden's laws on performance enhancing type things and in general is just, let's just say it's a little bit different than here in the United States and where we have freedom. Toney, speaking of just yourself and your life and everything, I saw you in Toronto last year with your X-Pain booth. Tell me something. You obviously, I've seen you at actually a lot of expos with it. So tell me a little bit about X-Pain and also your future in movies and anything else, any other personal projects you have on the go right now.
Well, I launched X-Pain here last year. It's a topical pain reliever. It's different from all the rest of them. There's no chemicals. It doesn't get hot or cold. And it works every time. I mean, I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of the success and the response that I'm getting from everybody. So I'm happy to have my own product and be kind of self-sustaining. I have to depend on a supplement company to sponsor me to make sure I can continue bodybuilding. I'm a businessman. Also, I do other things. I'm getting ready to start working on some movie projects, TV show in Atlanta called Healthy Living. And, I just I'm well read. I'm like, world travel. So I try to show the world that I'm more than just, a big bag of muscles.
And how about the T-shirt here that you have?
This is another project I'm working on. It's bodybuildinghumor.com. We came up, you walk around the gym and you see people doing stupid stuff in the gym. This particular shirt is called the half repper, like all the guys in the gym who are slinging the weight and not using full range of motion. So we got a few shirts, just to be a little sense of humor, and it's going pretty good.
Well, you heard it right from Toney. Like I say, Toney will be 46 in August. August 30th is his birthday, and hey, if he qualifies in Toronto at the Toronto Pro Show in Canada for the Olympia, he'll have to win the show to do that, but I think he can do that. If he wins there, he'll be on the Olympia stage, and if he gets his conditioning on there like he did in 2008, he came 5th then in a tough lineup. I could see him coming 5th again. I mean, there's no signs of age on Toney at all, not just in the muscles, but in his skin and everything else. And a lot of bodybuilders are a wreck of injuries by the time they're into their 40s, and Toney's over 45, and he doesn't look like he has an injury in sight. So anyway, guys, I'll give Toney the last word, just to speak out any last shout-outs to the fans, anything like that. Anything you want to say, Toney?
Just follow me on Facebook, or you can follow me on my website, tfxman.com. I'm going to be posting all the movie stuff and the TV stuff. I'm getting ready to relaunch X-Pain again in some different packaging, and it's just going to be a really good 2012.
Well, you heard it straight from Toney Freeman. Expect to see him at the Toronto Pro. Don't be surprised if he wins it, and if he does, you'll see him at the Olympia, and don't be surprised if he's back in the swing of things there near the top. So everybody, here at the Arnold Classic 2012 Expo, here with Toney Freeman.
Thank you.